U.S. Supreme Court rules Trump can stay on ballot. American visitor hangs self in Drax Hall. Man sentenced to 15 years for gun possession. This is Undiluted News. Mikey Bones reporting. The U.S. Supreme Court of Trump, the U.S. Supreme Court has struck down efforts by individual states to bar Donald Trump from running as a presidential candidate for November's election. The justices unanimously overruled Colorado's decision to disqualify Trump from the Republican primary ballot. Judges in the state had cited an anti-insurrection clause in the U.S. Constitution to ban Trump, with similar attempts made in Illinois and Maine. Section 3 of the 14th Amendment bans anyone who has engaged in insurrection or rebellion from office. The Colorado ruling pointed to Trump's action around the January 6 attack on the Capitol by his supporters. Three states, Colorado, Maine, and Illinois, had ruled Trump was ineligible to be on the ballot. But in their decision announced on Monday morning, the U.S. Supreme Court ruled that only Congress has the power to enforce the provisions, not states. So according to these learned individuals, the 14th Amendment actually does not apply to this one person in the U.S. No other president, just this one person, to attempt a coup and incite violence. Just this one individual, because if it was Obama or Biden, they would be in jail and their name would disappear from those ballots very quickly. The music industry has lost another icon. We just buried Peter Morgan over the weekend. Now we hear that prolific singer-songwriter in ska and rocksteady era, B.B. Seaton, died on Monday at age 79. Dennis Al Capone, his friend of over 45 years, said that Seaton died in hospital with members of his family by his side. Seaton, a past student of Cornwall College, was a member of the Gaylords along with Delana Stewart and Maurice Roberts. Their hit songs include Joy in the Morning and Hard to Confess, which he wrote. Also, as a solo artist, Seaton wrote and sang My Jamaican Girl, his biggest hit. He also co-wrote Freedom Street with Ken Boothe and also wrote Swing and Dine for the Melodians. And you'll remember him from this one.
I've traveled all over the world, made love to many, many girls. Of all the girls that I like best, you are the one girl that I can't forget, 'cause you're my Jamaican girl. You're my Jamaican girl. You're my Jamaican girl. You're my Jamaican girl.
That's the voice of the one and only B.B. Seaton. The Jamaica Civil Service Association is warning that its more than 30,000 members are now preparing to shut down the government service if the Ministry of Finance continues to delay settling outstanding salary-related issues. The 11 unions under the umbrella of the Jamaica Confederation of Trade Unions wrote to the Minister of Finance last Friday demanding a meeting to discuss the outstanding items within the next 10 days. JCSA President Tesha Clark Griffiths, who is a member of the Confederation, said that the civil servants are displeased with the long delay in settling the issues surrounding their benefits. Well, the government ministers were able to get more than $10 million raised, so they should stick out for the few hundred little dollars that is owed to them. The police are now probing the circumstances which led to the death of an American visitor in St. Ann on Sunday. He has been identified as 21-year-old Jacob Grant, a manager of West Palm Beach. Investigators are probing a case of suspected suicide after Grant's body was found hanging from a piece of rope by his brother on a property in Drax Hall in St. Ann about 6 p.m. on Sunday. A note was also found. A post-mortem examination is to be performed to determine the cause of death. Now people, as if Jamaica not have enough trouble with America already, sending out travel advisory. Why this man left all the way from Florida and hang himself down there? This is definitely not a good look. Meanwhile, the Portland police have laid charges against a female motorist after her vehicle struck a policeman on the weekend. The woman, 31-year-old Crystal Bryan of New Harbor Village in Old Harbor, St. Catherine, is accused of knocking the police inspector from his service motorcycle on Harbor Street in Portland. But the worst part is, after knocking him off his bike, she did not stop. Luckily, his injuries are not considered life-threatening. 4 persons were taken into custody Sunday after the Westmoreland police raided a house and seized an illegal gun. About 5 a.m., a special team of officers armed with a warrant swooped down on a 2-story property on Coke Street in Savlamar. An investigator said one of the persons threw a firearm through a window from the upper floor on the arrival of the police team. The semi-automatic weapon with a magazine containing 8 rounds was retrieved and 4 suspects who occupied the house were arrested and then taken into custody. Meanwhile, Custis of Westmoreland Reverend Hartley Perrin has expressed disappointment that violence has again erupted in the parish, leaving several persons dead and wounded. On Saturday, 4 persons were shot, 2 fatally, including a 16-year-old girl. Late last month, 7 persons were shot, 3 fatally. Perrin said that the lack of employment due to the decline in the sugar industry in Westmoreland is contributing to the high level of crime and violence in the parish. Reverend Perrin said that the church has also not been able to engage young people, admitting that that fight has been lost. He is now hoping that this time around the political directorate can be the source of transformation that is needed. But we're going to say sorry, Mr. Perrin. There's no politician currently in Jamaica that is going to turn things around in Westmoreland. Michael Manley died a long time ago. A Westmoreland businessman was on Monday sentenced under the new Firearm Prohibition Act to 15 years for illegal possession of firearm and ammunition. Jason Barrett, 36, appeared before the St. James Gun Court where the ruling was handed down. Reports from the Westmoreland police are that about 12:30 a.m. a team of officers was on mobile patrol in the Big Bridge area when 36-year-old Barrett was reportedly seen at the front of the shop with a bulge to the right of his waistband. Barrett was accosted and searched, and a firearm was reportedly taken from his waistband. Barrett thereafter informed the police that he was a licensed firearm holder. The police then requested that he produce his firearm user's license, and it's alleged that Barrett then went to his vehicle, made checks, and later told the police he left the license at home. The police later accompanied him to his home to retrieve the license. While at his house, he reportedly failed to produce the firearm license and thereafter admitted to the lawmen that he is not the holder of a firearms user's license, and Barrett was subsequently charged. Now he's sentenced to 15 years in prison. The man who is said to be the ex-boyfriend of 15-year-old Tara Alicia Dennis alias Chappellee, who was shot dead on Saturday in Little London, Westmoreland, is now in police custody. Anthony Spliffy McNeil, who was named as the prime suspect in the killing, surrendered himself to the police on Sunday. 15-year-old Dennis and a male companion, 38-year-old Darren Stewart, were allegedly attacked by McNeil while they were engaged in discussion on Dennis' veranda. Both Dennis and Stewart suffered gunshot wounds and were transported to hospital where Dennis was pronounced dead and Stewart admitted for treatment and then released. Since his release, Stewart was also said to be a person of interest in crimes elsewhere, and the police is now asking him to turn himself in. And the 15-year-old was working as a bartender and it seems only hang out with shutters. On to sports, Mount Pleasant took over leadership of the Premier League, beating Waterhouse 1-0 to move to 46 points. Tivoli was also ruthless and beat Treasure Beach 5-0 and stay close to the leaders on 41 points on third. Mobay and Portmore drew 1-1. Portmore is in 4th place on 41 points, while Mobay is in 8th place on 28 points. Mullines United edged Limehall 1-0, while a Fighting Arnett Gardens edged Vere United 1-0. Arnett is in 5th place on 38 points. And last night, Cavalier missed an opportunity to retake the lead after they had to come from behind to earn a point from a 1-1 draw against Humble Lions at the Stadium East complex. They remain in second on 44 points, which is 2 points behind Mount Pleasant. In the other game, Dunbeholden put on a massive 3-0 beating on Harborview and now moved to 6th place on 33 points. Harborview at present is struggling in 11th place on 19 points. And don't forget, the best news and sports takes place on this station. If you ever miss the news, please go to YouTube, type in Jamerican Undiluted News, listen, like, share, and remember, subscribe to keep it going. That's news and sports on your favorite radio. My name is Mikey Bones. I gone.